Call the Village of Midlothian Board meeting to order for May 13th, 2015. Roll call.
Trustee Gillis. Here. Trustee Coley. Trustee Kreis.
Here.
Trustee LaRue.
Here.
Trustee Moskal. Here. Mayor Ryback.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Before we say the pledge this evening, I would like to inform the community that on Monday afternoon, Albert Davis, our Make-A-Wish Foundation child, actually passed away from his cancer. And so this evening, after the pledge, I'm asking that the moment of silence be for his family. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to proceed with our swearing in of our trustees. If Carl Ivan, if you could come up and take your oath.
I will try to get on your way as much as possible.
Congratulations. I can swear you in.
Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I,
Carl Ivan,
having been elected
to
to the position of Village of Midlothian trustee
been elected to the Village of Midlothian trustee
in the Village of Midlothian
in the Village of Midlothian,
in the County of Cook,
the County of Cook.
aforesaid do solemnly swear.
I still aforesaid solemnly swear
That I will support the Constitution of the United States,
I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the ordinances of the Village of Midlothian,
and the ordinance of the Village of Midlothian.
and that I will faithfully discharge
And I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of the village trustee
of the village trustee
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
Trustee Moskal, would you please stand and be reaffirmed?
Yep.
You just say yeah, whatever you said.
Very good. I, Al Moskal,
I, Alan Moskal,
having been elected
having been elected
to the position of Midlothian Village Trustee
to the position of Midlothian Village Trustee
in the Village of Midlothian,
in the Village of Midlothian,
in the County of Cook,
in the County of Cook,
aforesaid
aforesaid,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the ordinances of the Village of Midlothian,
and the ordinances of the Village of Midlothian,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Village Trustee
of the office of Village Trustee
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Our last trustee could not be here this evening. He actually took ill, so Don will be getting sworn in private with Clerk Colstead. At this time, do you want a couple photo ops, Carl? I know you said you wanted to take some pictures.
Yes.
Okay, that'd be great. We'll go ahead and let you get your pictures, just so people don't have to stick around and be bored at our meeting. Or thrilled, whatever way you want to go with it. Where do you want to go? Do you want to go here or?
Well, actually, yeah, did you get a cameraman? You want to take some pictures? Because the guy that I wanted to do it, he is not here.
And then get the better.
Hey.
Okay, I can notice it.
Here we go. much. I don't, Mom, Dad, you wanna? Dad, you too.
They're coming.
That's why I'm
I know, I'm sorry.
We are too.
It's on video, Ann.
No? I guess not. Oh, Lincoln wants to get.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right, come on.
I'm flexible.
Ask one of them. There you go. Look at that. All right, get out of here.
We're all good?
I saw that.
If all you did was come for the swearing in and you do not wish to stay for the rest of the meeting, you are more than welcome. You don't have to stay if you don't want to. Otherwise, we're going to move on to public comment. If at this time you would like to address the board, now would be your time.
All right, hi. Kathy Caveney, Keeler Avenue. I got a couple things to bring up this evening. First is the CRS. I really have to reiterate the comments that Helen and Trustee Kreis made at the last board meeting regarding the village's representation at flood meetings being held in our metropolitan area. Midlothian must be represented. Here, Trustee Kreis and Helen cannot be the only attendees. Public Works needs to be at these meetings. If Joe can't go, then Ty has to attend. These meetings are critical to Midlothian's success in securing flood mitigation projects and funding. And remember, no organization is going to help Midlothian unless it's helping itself, so we have to be at these meetings. Also, CRS training is critical. FEMA offers free online training as well as free seminars. Brian Eber at the IDNR advised me that FEMA will pay for CRS training, which includes floodplain management for Midlothian employees. These classes are provided by the Emergency Management Institute in Virginia near Gettysburg. FEMA pays for transportation, lodging in the classes, but I'm not sure about the meals. Unfortunately, Midlothian missed out on a training class that was held here in Illinois recently. He said that Robinson Engineering should be aware of such training and should be able to notify Public Works of any upcoming local training events. Brian also suggested that Midlothian join the Illinois Association of Floodplain and Stormwater Management, which is a great resource. Also, Joe, has Brian Eber contacted you yet to schedule the CAV meeting? Okay. He said he would be in contact with you, I'm guessing maybe in the next week or so, to schedule it for the end of May, beginning of June. And please note that Brian is going to request review of village records, probably going back to August of 2008 when the flooding and stormwater ordinance was passed. And that is to ensure that the village is in compliance with the National Flood Insurance Plan. If Public Works requires assistance in getting their documentation together, of course, I'll be happy to assist again with that. Next item is the abandoned lots on Colmar. I had brought up these two abandoned lots back on the April 8th meeting, and I'm addressing these again on behalf of Jamie and Mio Guzman, who could not attend this evening's meeting. They had Jamie had shared a copy of an email that she had sent to the mayor and the board and to Joe, along with some pictures she took on May 9th. Joe responded that Public Works can't go onto private property. However, you know, the village has kind of already sent a precedent about going onto public property when it plowed Tiffany Plaza and when the board agreed to spend $6,000 to repair potholes on Cottage Row. So, you know, the Guzmans are concerned that the owner of this property, who is Mr. Carl Tomzak, is in violation of the village ordinance for not maintaining his property, and his failure to maintain his property is going to cause further damage to the Guzman property. Not to mention further damage and erosion to Natalie Creek that runs through his property. So I know that, Joe, you had mentioned that you or Mike Penny were going to be out to their property to take a look.
There is. Yes,
Yeah.
Monday.
I mean, there's a huge branch that cracked off one of the trees right over the top of their fence. And
Mike's in the process of trying to track down the owner.
Well, if you look at those photographs that I sent to you, attached to the back of those two photographs is an address where Mr. Tomzak can be reached. He's got he has
Does he own that home that's on Kilmore?
Yes, he owns a home on Kilbourne, but I believe he's got a tenant in that home. He does not live there.
Yeah, we knocked on the door there. Is that all one property or is it two?
It's two separate properties. Those two vacant abandoned lots are two separate lots that they back up to that property on Kilbourne, but they're not part of that property. If you look on that third sheet that's on the attachment, Mr. Tomzak can be reached at his other property that's over on Kedzie Avenue in
I'll pass it
Midlothian.
along to Mike. We'll work on it.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question? When did we plow Tiffany Plaza?
Somebody mentioned to me that Public Works plowed Tiffany Plaza a year or so ago because the owner of Tiffany Plaza wouldn't plow the snow. So they called you guys and you guys plowed it
No, they didn't.
and then charged them back for it.
It was a private company that we hired.
Oh, well, okay, but who paid the bill? Did the village pay the bill?
No, we put it against the property owner.
Okay. But you guys took care of it is the point. So, you know, I know that the village is not responsible for every tree in town, but we're talking about specific properties along Natalie Creek that are suffering because of the creek, and a lot of these properties are vacant, and, you know, we need the village to step up and start hammering these property owners to make sure that they are complying with village ordinance to maintain their property. You know, people are getting citations and tickets because their weeds are too tall. These property owners need to start getting citations because they're not maintaining their property, and their dead trees are causing damage to the neighbors.
Well, the trees are damaging the fences that don't belong to them.
Right.
So when you got other people's trees falling and taking big boards and making holes and splitting the boards on your fence and nobody will do anything about it, that's kind of the problem.
Exactly. Next thing is record keeping. I checked the village website and we are missing public hearing meeting minutes from October 8th, 2014, October 22nd, 2014, and January 7th, 2015. We are missing village board special meeting minutes from April 1st and April 15th. Zoning board agendas and meeting minutes are missing altogether. And as far as I know, zoning board meeting minutes and agendas are supposed to be published on the website as well. With regards to the municipal code, also I brought up on April 8th the fact that our flooding and stormwater ordinance is buried under Title 12, which is entitled subdivisions. And the flooding and stormwater ordinance really should be a title unto itself. So my question is, has anybody taken a look at this to break it out into its own section? Also, a lot of items in that the flooding and stormwater ordinance need to be cross-referenced with other items in the village code, and nothing's cross-referenced at all. Also, the village passed that resolution back in November with regards to the Cook County multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan, and that really needs to be adopted into the village code as well. Last thing, the grant. Last month, the mayor stated that $95,000 worth of work was authorized and paid for out of capital bond funds. That work was supposed to be paid for out of the $100,000 DCEO grant. As of today, the grant is not listed on the DCEO website. So we're just curious what the status is.
According to Brooke Dockett, who is our grant administrator, it is still going to be released. It just has not gone on the docket yet.
What's the holdup?
The governor's reviewing all the big grants that were outstanding.
Well, then the money shouldn't have been spent. The money, we applied for the grant, the survey document was signed and sent well before Governor Rauner, I think, was elected. So I'm not sure what the holdup was in going from survey to grant application, but the money shouldn't have been spent, and it wasn't even authorized and approved by the board.
And there's a clause in the contract that does suggest strongly that no actions are taken until the actual money is released, because there's additional paragraphs that allow the state to cancel it with no grounds articulated. It's just if they
Right.
want to cancel it, done. No, no explanation needed. So those paragraphs kind of tie into that
So
paragraph that
is
says.
this Brooke Dockett a person that you talked to?
Yes, she's our grant administrator with the state of Illinois.
And when was the last time you spoke with her?
I actually talked to her Friday of last week.
And so if Governor Rauner is reviewing this, there's a good possibility we may not get this money.
She says ours is still ready for review. He has pulled quite a few grants, and ours is not one of them.
But is she giving you any explanation as to what the holdup is?
Just how long this process takes, I don't know.
Well, it doesn't seem like it took the $60,000 grant this long to go through. So, all right. That's all.
Is there anyone else who'd like to address the board? If not, I will close the floor to public comment. And I would be looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda. On the consent agenda, we have the approval of the minutes from April 1st, April 8th, and April 15th, and also the bill list.
I'll make a motion.
I was going to ask that these minutes, items 1, 2, and 3 be removed.
1, 2, and 3,
Right.
Which bill list? There was 2 of them.
both of them. It's broken out like that because some of those bills are being charged to the 14-15 budget, while the other one is 15-16 budget.
Oh, okay. Do we know which one is which one?
The ones that have the May 1st, where it specifically says.
Oh, that's
Do you see it?
15, 16.
That's 15-16, correct.
Okay.
Okay, so you want all the minutes removed, okay?
I will amend my motion to approve the consent agenda
For the bill list.
for just those.
I'll second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Trustee LaRue.
Aye.
Trustee Gillis.
Aye.
Trustee Ivan.
Aye.
Trustee Kreis.
Aye.
Trustee Maskell.
Aye.
Okay, we'll move back to trustee business. Trustee Kreis?
Items, the updates that I have this evening, and you want me to just send you the corrections? I have corrections for all the minutes.
Yes, please.
Okay. Some updates, rain ready interim report. We do have the interim report that Molly Ocean distributed late Friday evening. If anybody would like to read it, I'm glad to share it. You're on the steering, you both are on the steering committee, so you should have it. She's asking for comments. I perused it. I do have some minor amendments and comments, but it's an incredibly impressive report. I don't know, Helen, have you
It's
read it?
incredible.
Yeah, it is. There's so much
What a
information
history.
in here. There is so much information in here. So a huge thank you to our partners at CNT and for Harriet's leadership and for Molly Ocean now picking up with Harriet. We actually had our next Rain Ready Steering Committee scheduled for May 21st, and it looks like that will be rescheduled to May 28th, because on May 21st, there is a stormwater utility seminar at the Willis Tower, and it's navigating towards effective stormwater program funding. CNT, Hal Spray will be a presenter there. Our team from Center for Neighborhood Technology will be attending there. Jeff Koza is attending, correct, Jeff? Superintendent Sperry's attending. I think Helen's attending. I may try to attend. So I think a number of our rain ready team are going to be at that seminar. So that will take place on May 21st, and we will have our rain ready meeting at 9:30 in this room on May 28th. The vehicle policy is not done yet. It is close. Trustee Gillis had wanted an amendment or a rider. On personal tools, I have some language that I've not had time to incorporate into the policy. I have, you wanted injury forms attached, I have those forms. Nicole Faber is working on the mileage report, so I try to tie all those loose ends together so that this will be a really solid policy. So we're almost there. If anybody else has any, and Trustee Ivan, I provided you with a copy of the draft, so if there's any other suggestions, I'm going to try to get this ready for discussion at our next committee meeting and then passage at the following board meeting. So I think those of you who read it can see there was a lot of work that went into it, and then there were additional suggestions. So we're close, we're close. Grant updates, the Phase 2 reports through the EPA grant for the Chevy and Chrysler properties are just about complete. I should be receiving the drafts from Weaver Consultants very shortly. And the mayor had inquired about the Chevy report. So those are in progress. Last Thursday, I attended Transportation Secretary Blankenhorn's listening tour at South Suburban Mayors and Managers, and it was packed. There were so many people in attendance, it was amazing, and he truly was listening. He wanted to listen to ideas. Tom Vanderwoody, who is the Director of Transportation at South Suburban Mayors and Managers, handed Secretary Blankenhorn a packet of transportation projects from the SSMMA communities. Additionally, there were water infrastructure projects in that packet.
Were there any for Midlothian?
Yes, yes, yes. Jeff and Joe had worked on putting everything together. So there were projects in there for Midlothian, including the water tower. But again, Secretary Blankenhorn talked about, we can't just have a capital program for 5 years and then have nothing for another 5 or 8 years. It doesn't make sense. He really seems to have a handle on the issues of the state. For those of you who don't know, he was the executive director, the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning before Governor Rauner appointed him as Transportation Secretary. So he knows some of the issues. I was impressed with him. We'll see what he can do. Again, he talked about a lot depends on funding, and we all know that. Veterans Committee will meet here on Monday evening, May 18th, and again, I'm still talking about our Independence Day Parade on Saturday, June 27th. I have flyers and forms for whoever would want to participate in that event. And lastly, I stopped in today. I had talked to Dale Turhar, who is the new owner of Grills Hardware. The closing finally occurred last Wednesday, a week ago today. And I had worked with him because the EPA grant did the Phase 1 and Phase 2 study there, and they actually still need some supplemental work done. So I had contact with him on numerous occasions. But I stopped in today to meet him. Very nice man. He's owned the True Value in South Holland for about 12 years. Knows John Watson, who I've worked with from South Holland. He's our economic development director. We started talking. He has plans for this store, wants to open a garden center, wants to do some facade improvements. Asked me some questions, like he said, this property's not the TIF, and I told him no, it wasn't. But we talked about some other things, possibly a Class 8 on his improvements or sales tax sharing. I know we had some conversation with the mayor about that. But anyway, very nice man. I think he's committed to providing the same type of service that Ken Grill did. And I think this is probably very bittersweet for Mr. Grill. But if you have time, stop in and see Mr. Turhar and welcome him to Midlothian and wish him success. And I believe that is all I have this evening.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Ivan, would you like to say anything?
No. Thank you for the opportunity.
Welcome aboard again. Trustee Gillis.
I only have an update on our ambulance. We have 2712 that is still currently out of service. Hopefully we'll have some news on some parts are waiting on, and this should be back in service soon. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Trustee LaRue.
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to we get the approval from the board tonight to begin implementing the Civic Send program, which we talked about last week in committee. It is of no charge to the end of the year. We can use it up till that point. If we decide to keep it, they're giving it to us for $995 a year after that. So I don't see any reason why we wouldn't start. It's a program that will more easily communicate with the residents and, via the internet and email. So there's no charge. I don't think we vote on that.
Okay. We have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Trustee LaRue?
Aye.
Trustee Kreis?
Aye.
Trustee Gillis?
Aye.
Trustee Ivan?
Aye.
Trustee Maskell?
Aye.
Okay.
Chief Kaufman has asked the board to approve an ordinance hiring Ken Hoppen as a probationary police officer. We are still down officers. We're off the list now. Time still is a problem, and Kenneth Hoppen can pretty much get on the street pretty quickly. He's all trained. So I'm making a motion to reapprove. The ordinance is in the packet.
Yes.
I'm making a motion that we approve this ordinance.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Discussion?
We never had this ordinance before. This looks like it should have been something we probably would have had. So.
We have done this one time in the past. This ordinance.
Roll call.
Trustee LaRue?
Aye.
Trustee Maskell?
Aye.
Trustee Gillis?
Aye.
Trustee Ivan?
Aye.
Trustee Kreis?
Aye.
Under trustee Killalee's business. Oh, I'm sorry, Gary. I didn't let you finish.
I guess May 29th is the 13th annual Cop on Top fundraiser for Illinois Special Olympics. And Midlothian will be participating in that again this year. Starts at 5 a.m. at our local Dunkin' Donuts here on Crawford. Some call it Pulaski.
I will be on the ground the entire day. I will not go on the road.
I know a number of officers that have signed up to get up there.
Be there all day.
So May 29th, don't forget. And last Saturday was the Midlothian Community Policing Committee's golf outing. The weather was not so great, but we did get it in, and we did very well. And I can't thank the committee enough for everything they did, everyone that came out and supported and golfed and everything else. So we'll do it again next year. That's all I have.
Great, thank you. Like I told everybody at the beginning, Trustee Killerly is sick and couldn't make it this evening. Under his business, he was looking for the approval of the expenditure of 8 hours for Jeff Koza for the CAB visit that should be coming up shortly. So I need someone to...
I'll make the motion.
And I will second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Trustee LaRue?
Aye.
Trustee Kreis?
Aye.
Trustee Gillis?
Aye.
Trustee Ivan?
Aye.
Trustee Maskell?
Aye.
Okay, then we'll go to Trustee Maskell.
Just 2 items tonight, Mayor. Both of these are items I shared with the board last week, but in the interest of getting word out, I'm going to share them again. The first is I am expecting that all of the budget information will be turned in to Mr. Clam on Friday, I believe we do, so I will touch base with him this week on Friday, and hopefully I'll have an update for the board on the 15-16 budget next week at our meeting. And then secondly, many folks here may have heard either in the news or in the newspaper about Governor Rauner's proposed turnaround agenda. As it's being referred to, one of the items in his agenda includes a 50% cut in the funding in a fund called the Local Government Distributor Fund, and that is the income tax pool of which Midlothian receives 50% of approximately each year. If that plan passes, Midlothian could stand to lose up to $800,000 a year, which would be fairly devastating. So I am encouraging residents to please go online, and there's a website that's been put together by a number of mayors that actually started in DuPage County, ironically, but it's currently endorsed by the Southwest Conference of Mayors, the South Suburban Mayors and Managers Association, of which Midlothian is a part, and a number of other local elected officials. It's at www.protectmytown.com. There's actually a link to it on our homepage for the village that's been up since last week. And by filling in your name and address, the website will automatically send a letter to Governor Rauner, to Representative Will Davis, and Senator Napoleon Harris. I won't go through reading what it says, but it's fairly clear on the website. But I would ask folks here to please do that and encourage others to do that as well. Hopefully, social media is a good way to spread that word. But that's very important to us right now. That's all I have to say.
Great, thank you. Village engineer, Jeff?
Thanks, Mayor. Just a few things. Working with Joe, trying to get the Cicero Avenue water main improvements in line, so when that easement gets approved, that we can get to work on that right away. I found out the EPA permit is actually still valid for another year. We do have a little bit of work at Cicero Avenue, so that's an IDOT permit. So we're trying to figure out how much effort, if any, will be required to reactivate that old permit. But the goal is to have that ready to go. I spoke with the contractor, he's still ready to go. So as soon as that development agreement is in place with the easement, we can get that in before we have to start breaking ground on their stuff. And then also I obviously got the Lawndale storage building plans today, so I will take a look at that for conformance with various stormwater codes and sanitary sewers and water mains and all that good stuff. So, oh, and also just to update you on the water tower status, we had submitted a permit for construction 2 years ago. Obviously, it was put on hold. We found out that to reactivate that permit won't be much effort on our end, just a simple letter, and it will be active for another year once they approve it. That should only take a couple weeks. The only thing worth noting is that there's only a couple contractors that can build these and steel water towers. We spoke with one of them earlier this week, and basically with his schedule, he wouldn't be able to have it done until July of next year if he were to bid it this summer. So I guess the point being is if we think there'll be funding there in a year, maybe it's worth going out to bid, get a price, and see where that goes. But I guess my point being, there could be a decent delay on just getting them out there because there's not many people that do it. So just something to consider. And like Karen mentioned, looking forward to the stormwater utility seminar next Thursday downtown. I personally feel this is something that everyone in the area is eventually going to have to accept and hopefully see the benefits of having a dedicated fund for stormwater management because as we know, it's basically been ignored for 20, 30 years. Well, 20, 30 years ago, it's still being ignored. So hopefully that can find a way to generate income so we can not only manage our existing systems, but hopefully fund improvements. So that was it. Thank you.
Thank you. Chief Outlander?
I have nothing to
Chief Kaufman?
Just the fact that Great Lakes has been on the last 2 days with the cell repair juggies. Approved last committee meeting, and they should be done probably by tomorrow, so that bill should be coming in soon. So far, so good. That's all I have.
Thank you. Superintendent Sperry?
Yeah, I got a few things. Metro will be finally repairing our 2 crossings this summer. The tentative dates are as follows. 147th Street will close on June 11th and reopen on June 17th. Pulaski Road will close on June 18th and reopen on July 3rd. It's probably going to take a little longer to do the Pulaski crossing because they're going to make some adjustments to the gates. I think they're doing new gates, a new control box. They're moving it a little bit further off the tracks and some other things they're doing. That's the good news. The bad news is right after they get done, Nicor will be coming in. They're replacing a 20-inch gas main on Pulaski Road. So roughly it's going to affect about 148 here at the corner all the way down to the high school. They're going to be augering a 20-inch water main and pushing, augering a hole or a tunnel underneath the tracks, and then they have to push new water main. So that work is supposed to begin in early July, following Metro's work on the railroad crossing. The entire project should take 6 to 8 weeks. And the last thing I have is the village annual cleanup day is this Saturday. We are asking for volunteers to meet at the Public Works Garage at 8:30 a.m. We have gloves, garbage bags, etc. There will be a tree planting dedication at the Village Greens at 11:30 a.m. followed by lunch at the Public Works Garage donated by our local restaurants. That's all I have.
Great, thank you. The only two things I have this evening are two proclamations. I have a proclamation for our EMS and also for our Public Works, which are moved next week. I'll do the EMS first. EMS proclamation. Whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service, and whereas the members of emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury, and whereas the emergency medical service systems consists of first responders, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, firefighters, educators, administration, emergency nurses, emergency physicians, and others, and whereas the members of the emergency medical service teams, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills. And whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value of this accomplishment of emergency medical services providers by designating Emergency Medical Service Week. Now, therefore, I, Sharon Ryback, Mayor of the Village of Midlothian in Illinois, in recognition of this event, do hereby proclaim the week of May 17th through the 23rd, 2015 as Emergency Medical Services Week, with the theme EMS Strong. I encourage the community to observe this week by thinking of our first responders and thank them for their service. And for one weird year, we're getting both weeks in the same week. So as a proclamation to the Public Works. Whereas Public Works infrastructure, facilities, and services are of vital importance of sustainable communities and the health, safety, and well-being of citizens of the Village of Midlothian. And whereas the support of an understanding and informed citizenry is vital to the efficient operation of public works systems and programs involving transportation, wastewater, drainage, flood management, water engineering, solid waste, recycling, fleet maintenance, building maintenance, wildlife, and open space. And whereas Public Works staff are charged with the responsibility to maintain our public infrastructures in a safe, environmentally sensitive, and sustainable way. And whereas the efficiency of the qualified and dedicated personnel who staff our Public Work Department is primarily influenced by the people's attitudes and understandings of the importance of the work they perform. And whereas the year 2015 marked the 55th Annual National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Work Association. Now therefore, I, Sharon Ryback, Mayor of the Village of Midlothian in Illinois, do hereby proclaim May 17th through May 23rd, 2015 as National Public Works Week in the Village of Midlothian. I urge all residents to acquaint themselves with the issues involved in providing our public works and to recognize their contributions which Public Works personnel make every day to our health, safety, and comfort and quality of life. That's all I have. Be it proclaimed. So when you see these guys next week, just say, hey, thanks, we appreciate your jobs. Trustee, I'm sorry,
Not yet.
Clerk Colstead, next time around.
I have a couple things. One is block party request from Debbie Miller for August 1st of 2015 for 146th and Clifton Park, starting at 1 p.m. It's going to be a block party barbecue for the residents, kids games, bounce house, adult games. They would like to block off the street at 1 p.m. on August 1st. Second, I have a request from the principal of Springfield School requesting permission to block off 146th Street from east of the alley behind Kentucky Fried Chicken to Springfield Avenue on June the 8th between 8:30 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. as we have done every year for our school field day fun fair. Students will be crossing 146th Street throughout the day to go between the school and the grassy ball field area where some activities will be held. In order to ensure the safety of the children, no cars should be allowed on that block during the indicated school hours. So, those are the only two things that I have.
I was asked by Trustee Kreis to get a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing employee discipline. Specific employee, yes, specific employee's discipline.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Trustee Kreis.
Aye.
Trustee LaRue.
Aye.
Trustee Gillis.
Aye.
Trustee Ivan.
Aye.
Trustee Masto.
Aye.
There will be no further action after closed sessions. Stay, you don't have to.